Hey guys, welcome back. We are doing a game review. Me on Fairytail, Magistus, my boyfriend on Elfnote, Brandon, Elfnote. I think it's just the stuff you have to put in Elfnote in order for it to do the stuff it does. So yeah, I filmed a whole match. We went to game 3. Want to walk you through some of the plays, help you understand what's going on with the Fairytail deck, help you understand what's going on with the Elfnote deck, and yeah, here we go. Elfnote v Fairytail. I genuinely don't remember which one of us won. Probably me. Probably not. We'll see. Anyway, let's get into it. So Elfnote won the dice roll for the first game. He goes ahead and activates Terminus. It's very important to realize that Terminus does lock you into attacking with Power Patron monsters only, but if you're going first and you don't have a battle phase anyway, it does not necessarily matter. So Terminus is going to let him send and search, I believe. So he is going to, I think he sends, okay, so he sends the Ginaldo. Is that bird's name? I don't know the bird's names. I'm going to be real with you. And searches Medius. So something that's happening in current format, I feel like a bunch of people are playing Medius decks. Medius the Pure, Ash that guy. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying allowing the Medius stuff to go through. It tends to allow a lot of other stuff to go through. So if I were you, personally, I would not let a Medius resolve if your opponent tries to do that. Now, granted, there have been times that I have stopped the Medius and it doesn't do anything. But, okay, so here is the Medius. So what Medius says is if this card is normal or special summon, you can add to your hand or special summon one Power Patron monster from your deck. It also has a in-graveyard effect. So this is where, I believe for Elfnote, Medius searches the Elfnote Power Patron, which, again, then ends up pretty much being full combo. I chain the Fua, and my Fua gets ashed. So we resolve backwards, Ash negates the Fua, Fua resolves without any effect, and Medius searches the Peacock. Another important thing to note about the Peacock is that the Elfnote Power Patron, if this is on the field, so it says you can special summon, you cannot special summon from the X deck except Synchro Monsters. So this is a soft lock in the sense that it's not for the rest of the turn, it's just while it is on the field. And I believe it takes the normal summon though. Yes, so you have to, this doesn't have a way to special summon itself, but it says during the main phase quick effect, you can target one monster in your center main monster zone, increase, its level modulation in order to synchro. And then if this is used, if this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can add one Elfnote card from deck to your hand. The Elfnote ladies have the ability to special summon themselves to the middle monster zone. Non-activated, it just inherent summon, I think is what it's called. They just summon themselves. So this is why this ends up being pretty much full combo. It's also important to know that if you imperm the Elfnote Power Patron, the effect of when it's sent to graveyard as synchro material to add still goes through. So normally this card is not normally worth interacting with if you are playing against Elfnotes, because honestly the search is the better part. So does the level modulation in order to synchro into, what does he go for here? It's probably the Strelitzia. Strelitzia is a pretty big part of the combo. Oh, he is running Ecclesia. Okay, so he's running Ecclesia. And then again, Elfnote Power Patron is going to get sent. And so we are going to search a Tinia. So if you notice on the Elfnote monsters, all of them have the same starting line of you can special summon this card from your hand to your center main monster zone, period. No activation, can't impulse it, can't, they just summon themselves. So Elfnote Tinia is going to summon herself to the main monster zone, and then during your main phase you can place one Elfnote continuous spell. It is important to note that the Elfnote Tinia, he's going to place Welcome Home. Tinia, I believe all of them except for Lucina are ignition effects. So that's important to note because you can, if you get rid of the Tinia before your opponent has the opportunity to activate the effect to place the continuous spell, that's good too. Elfnote Welcome Home has a hard lock of synchros, so whenever he does activate Elfnote Welcome Home, it is going to hard lock him into summoning synchros. So this says you can send one monster from your hand or field to the graveyard. Notice it says monster. It could be literally any monster. I believe he is sent a Fua off of Elfnote Welcome Home in order to activate it. He sends the Tinia. which if as I'm playing, I was smarter and I could actually think of stuff while I'm playing, that's like a key, right? That if they're sending the monster, it means that they either don't have another monster in their hand or they want to save the monster in their hand in order to continue doing something. So it just gives you information on what they send. Special summon one Elfnote monster with a different original attribute from your deck in defense position. So he sent Tinia, which I believe is light. So he is going to special summon with a different original attribute than the Tinia. We will go for Regina, our newest mean girl. She does have the quick effect in hand. I think she's the only the only Elfnote that has a in-hand quick effect to special summon itself. If this card is normal or special summon to the center main monster zone, you can special summon one Elfnote monster from your deck, except Elfnote Regina. I will point out a really funny thing for Regina's quick effect. If this card's in your hand, you can send one other Elfnote card from your hand or face-up field. If you rename an Elfnote card on the field to Prince of Fairies, can no longer get sent off of Regina, which means they either have to have multiple Elfnotes on the field or one in hand. And I did that one time, and it was really, really funny. So this is going to allow him to special. He's going to get Fortuna. Fortuna is going to get the trap. This trap is the trap is also a negate if after activation they control a synchro. So there's this thing that Elfnote players do with the trap where they will resummon Strelitzia from the graveyard, and then now because they control a synchro monster, they get to negate. That trap is actually pretty sneaky in the sense of, like, I always forget it has the negate. The Elfnote trap has a negate. That is a piece of interaction you will have to deal with on your turn. That continuous trap does have the ability to negate. So, and I believe we can read it here. Oh, I covered it up. Let me see if I can back it up a smidge. Okay. So it does also have the continuous effect of while you control a monster in your main monster zone, your opponent's monsters cannot attack except for that one. You can send one monster from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target one Elfnote monster in your graveyard with a different original attribute, special summon it. Then if you control a synchro monster, you can negate the effects of one face-up card your opponent controls until the end of this turn. You can only use the effect once per turn. And they can't activate this on your turn, so they activate it. They synchro. Normally, they're doing it when you have an ignition effect, so they're trying to get ahead of you activating it, and then they negate it. Super funsies. Anyway, off of the Rhapsodia on his turn, he's going to go ahead and get the Peacock and Regina to go into Strelitzia. Strelitzia is going to allow him, I believe, to add back the Regina. He's going so fast. Okay, let me read what Strelitzia does. Did I not put it fully where you can see it on the screen? I might have put it like half on, half off. Let me go ahead and pull up a copy of Strelitzia for myself so I can actually like read to you what it does. Strelitzia says this card's original attack becomes 3,000 when it's in the main monster zone. During the main phase quick effect, you can special summon one level 6 or lower Elfnote monster from your hand or graveyard. Okay, that makes sense. That's how we got that back. Then you can reduce the levels of all level 4 or higher monsters. God, this sucks to play against as Fairytail because this is the level modulation that happens. Cool Tune also has a level modulation. All of mine are level 4. It is going to reduce the levels of all level 4 or higher monster on the field by 3 until the end of this turn. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except for synchros. So Strelitzia is also going to lock. He's going to go ahead and summon the Elfnote Power Patron. Oh, Regina adds herself back. That's what that was. That's how Regina came back. Regina has the effect to add herself back. He is going to synchro into Crystal Wing once per turn. When another monster's effect is activated, quick effect, you can negate the activation. And if you do, destroy that monster. And if you do, gets a lot of attack. So this is another interruption. So far looking at interruptions, we have the trap, we have the Crystal Wing, and I actually believe Ecclesia. Let me read the Synchro Ecclesia, I think. Oh, yeah, she is another interruption. During the main phase, you can banish this card until end phase if you do special summon one Fallen of Albaz or one level 4 or lower monster that mentions it from your deck. So what I've seen this, how I've seen this work is you banish the Ecclesia to special a Fallen of Albaz and then fusion summon with your opponent's monsters, and then you don't have to do anything. So what I am attempting to play into is the Crystal Wing monster negate, the Rhapsodia monster negate, and the Ecclesia to attempt to just blow up to fuse away one of my monsters, and 2 unknown sets. We're going to start with Super Poly, though. Let me move my little face to the other side. Let me move myself maybe up here. Okay, so I love Super Poly in this format. I love Super Poly and Fairytail Magistus because you might be looking at this and being like, what legal target does she have to Super Poly? Which is what most of my opponents are doing, right? They're like, what could it be? And I'm not running Thasseus. Yeah, I did order a Thasseus. I think it's going inside. I personally don't think it's worth maining it. Alas, what target could I possibly have for Super Poly? Oh, is he controlling a spellcaster and a synchro? It's Chorizo. Chorizo takes a spellcaster, which I will pretty much always be able to have as a Fairytail Magistus player to normal summon if I need another one. But it also takes basically an extra deck monster, and most of your opponents are going to end with an extra deck monster on the field that you can use for Super Poly. It is an unfortunate matchup against Elfnote that all their stuff, for the most part, is also spellcasters. So it makes Super Polying away their board pretty easy. So, wow, look, we just dealt with 2 of the interruptions. We just have to play through the trap, the known trap, the Rhapsodia, and then 2 unknowns. So we're going to go ahead and special, and then he is going to activate Regina in order to send 2 summons. So he's going to send the Elfnote Welcome Home. I'm going to chain Ved. So Ved has 2. Oh, also, at this point, we're still in draw. I'm pretty sure we're still in draw at this point. Ved has 2 effects that if you control Magistus or Witchcrafter monster, you can send a spellcaster monster, a spell from deck to grave. I already discarded the Jenny. I had the Jenny in hand. Jenny you want in grave because Jenny says you can copy a Magistus spell. So you copy Ved, and that gets around the condition of the second effect. When your opponent activates a card or effect, special summon a Magistus or Witchcrafter monster from hand or deck. I'm doing that one because I am chaining it to the activation of Regina. So Regina he's thinking, and then we'll resolve backwards. So Vad, now that I have the Elfnote, let me read you Regina. If this card's in your hand, quick effect, you can send 1 other Elfnote card, doesn't have to be a monster, from hand or field, special summon this card. If this card is normal or special summon to the main monster zone, you can special summon an Elfnote monster from your deck, except for Regina. So most likely he's going to special it into the main monster zone in order to also get the summon. We resolve the chain backwards. So chain 2 was Vad. We are going to look through our deck to special summon a Magistus monster. I do want to try Witchcrafters. I'm going to go ahead and special Rigatoni. I try to be careful with the main monster zone sometimes against Elfnote, so that's why I put her over there. He's going to special Regina. Turn player triggers, chain 1 Rigatoni to search, chain 2 Regina to special. And then we see, do either of us have any other quick plays, quick effects that we want to activate? I do not think we put anything else on the chain. Oh, I have another Ved. So, okay. I do go ahead and chain a Ved. So it's chain 1 Rigatoni to add a Magistus spell from your deck to your hand. The only option I have is to add a Ved. I am running 3, so I'll add the third one. Chain 2 Regina to special, chain 3 Ved. You can only do each effect once per turn unless you're copying from Jenny. Jenny allows you to, that's what I did. If I'm playing that wrong, let me know. But Jenny allows you to copy without the restrictions because you're just copying the effect. You're not copying like all the other stuff of the card. Chain 3 Ved to send, and it says send 1 spellcaster, monster, or spell. Really good because you can send any spellcaster monster. So you could send Match Girl, who can special herself from grave. You can send the equip spell Diffuse, which can attach itself from grave. Thinking if we're going to add anything else to the chain. And I believe at this point it does end up resolving. Okay, so Ved is going to send a spell or spellcaster, and then Elfnote. So I do send Match Girl because she can special herself. Regina is going to special the Lucina, and then Rigatoni is going to add another copy of Ved, which I can't use now, but I was thinking to set and then use it later. So we're now entering main. So all of this happened in draw. He managed to remake his board, but those two, well, they do have the interaction of Lucina being able to switch herself to the middle. So he had to look up for me. At this point, I did not have enough English copies of Incredible Ecclesia. I was using my really adorable OCG copies. I think I have one up there somewhere. Adorable. I can't read it. And I can't remember what it does. I don't have it memorized. So he's looking up what it does. I overlay 2 level 4 spellcaster monsters in order to go into Wiccat. This is the bridge. I'm only running 1 Wiccat, debating running 2. But this is the bridge between Magistus and Fairytail. Detach 2 to send 2. I already have the Match Girl engraved, so another reason is I need to get an 1850 spellcaster out in order to special her. He is going to Imperm. So chain 1 Wiccat, chain 2 Imperm. Imperm is going to negate it. Wiccat does send for cost though, so those 2 get detached. Gonna go ahead and special Match Girl. I am now spellcaster locked. I do have to activate it so the special goes through, and then I am going to, on a new chain 1 if it is normal or special summoned, to search a spell. So we're gonna special Match Girl and then attempt to search. He is going to chain Rhapsodia. So he is going to do exactly what I said earlier, where he is going to attempt to summon a synchro monster in order to negate my Match Girl. Yep. So Match Girl gets negated. No worries though, y'all. Fairytail has some gas in the tank. He's then going to use the Strelitzia effect. And I believe this is another level modulation one. I have it up on this screen. During the main phase quick effect, you can special summon 1 level 6 or lower. Then you can reduce the levels. So we're level modulating, which is fine. I can't overlay these, and now I can't synchro them away. I don't have any synchro targets. All my synchro targets require a tuner, and it goes through the Magistus line, though I will say, Wiccat doesn't have a level, so Wiccat's still just an Xyz Wiccat. But the Match Girl is now a level 1, which is going to make it more difficult. So then Fortuna is going to come out off of the Strelitzia. And now I can special summon Incredible Ecclesia. You can see it's adorable artwork. I can't read it, so I needed to have him look it up in English to make sure I knew what it did. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand. When I first made this deck, I was running 1 Ecclesia, 2 Fallen. I think it actually works better the other way. I'm running 2 Ecclesia, 1 Fallen, and trying to rarity upgrade those cards it'll happen. I gotta save up for it. So then we're gonna go ahead, and I am spellcaster locked. So I did the effect, and I got the Fallen out, and then we were like, that boy is a dragon. He is not a spellcaster. And this is where we caught it. It was like, actually, that's not a spellcaster, and you're spellcaster locked. And I was like, actually, you are fully correct. So we take the game state back to it's repairable. You just repair the game state when this happens, even in like locals or like bigger tournaments. Just if it's repairable, repair it. So now I'm going to go ahead and do Jenny to copy vid. And I am going to special a Zorora. So now we're going to try to just do Magistus, I believe is how I'm going to try to pivot, because my Match Girl is a level 1. And I can't overlay. I mean, I could overlay the Ecclesia and the Zorora at this point to do something, but I've already done Wiccat. We're going to go ahead and equip the Artemis to Zorora. That's going to trigger Zorora to special in defense a level 4 spellcaster. So we're going to get Rigatoni back. It's important to note that Artemis, the search, is a ignition effect. So at this point, after the Rigatoni comes back, he is able to do the Fortuna. And this is going to, okay, after he did this, he was like, why did I do that? It lets you send a spell, one of your opponent's spells, back to hand. Artemis is being treated as an equipped spell right now, so he is going to be able to send it back to hand. But I haven't activated the effect yet, so, which I get it. He wants to stop me from doing crap. I personally think it would have been better to wait for me to do the effect, but then I special Crowley, and that's why I didn't do the effect, because if you notice, my board was full, so I didn't have room to special Crowley. But basically, by sending Artemis back to hand, he sends it back to extra deck, which is going to allow me to have access to it again to equip it, and I haven't done the effect yet. So now I'm going to go ahead and go into Zorora. I should not have summoned it in the Link Zone. This was a casual game. He is going to allow me to move it later technically I shouldn't have been allowed to because I made the choice and it was a bad choice. Sometimes with the amount of monsters that Fairytail can get out, you need to use the Link Zone for other extra deck monsters, but because I wanted to eventually do Artemis, I shouldn't have done this. He's going to droplet it. He's trying to keep me from getting the Artemis, from getting the Crowley to get the Fuse, right? That's kind of the point. So here's where we had the realization of like, because it got dropleted and I couldn't go into the Artemis, I shouldn't have summoned it into the Link Zone. I was asking like, can Links get summoned where they point? And he was like, no. And so he, gracious man, allows me to fix that little mistake that I made. Not little, actually would have cost me the game. And I don't really love running Endymion until this exact situation happens and you need to get the Artemis back. Like, it is really like you have kind of bricked. And I'm pretty sure with Endymion, let me back it up. The reason I can use the Match Girl, let's see. I need to read the Endymion to make sure I didn't accidentally cheat. So Artemis just takes 1 level 4 or lower spellcaster. Oh, okay, that's how I did it. So I could use the level 1 Match Girl to go into Artemis. A lot of the stuff I have says it has to be level 4 spellcasters, which is why the Cool Tune and the Elfnote level modulation is kind of not fun. And then Endymion just requires a 1 level 4, which I could do the Zorora. And then Endymion's going to let me equip the Artemis. Artemis is going to let me search the bald boy. I know Crowley's not bald. I call him bald. He's my bald boy. And he's going to special summon himself and then immediately Fuse. And what are we going for? I think I do run Omega in here, but I haven't really practiced the lines with Omega. I think at this point I could, because I also have the Synchro out. You can fuse into, yeah, I'm going to do Zorora. And then Zorora is going to allow me to equip. And you can equip a monster. I think I wanted to equip the Trap, and I was like, you can do a monster. So I want to leave his center monster zone clogged at this point, because that means he's not going to be able to special on his turn any of the Elfnotes. So I'm going to go ahead and just equip the Lucina. This does mean I have to either send the Zorora to do the monster negate, or I need to get another Magistus attached to him, which luckily I can do. Rigatoni is going to let me attach a non-level 4. I am going to attach it to the Zorora just to keep it simple. This will allow me to send the Artemis to grave as the negate for Zorora instead of sending the Zorora. And then it's going to keep the Lucina attached as long as the Zorora is there. So at this point, I'm just looking through my extract to see like, okay, is this the best I got? Which admittedly is not bad. I can go battle and beat over the Fortuna, but there is some... There is a way of leaving it cleared. I do go battle. I do beat over it. I'm not sure. I think that an argument can be made for leaving it, but because I did have other it wasn't lethal damage, so I don't know. I think it could have gone either way where I left it just to leave his the Ecclesia gets added back to hand because the fusion went to grave. I think the argument could be made to leave if you're playing against someone who's playing Elfnote, leave the center monster zone clogged, because then they can't special. He didn't have any cards in hand, and I did damage. I think it did not matter for this game state anyway, because he knows he's looking down the lens of a handful of negates. But he is able... I'm having flashbacks. Zorora is a monster negate, so there's nothing I can do about the Rhapsodia. And the Rhapsodia is going to let him special the Strelitzia, and we're going to go down to the path again of he's now going to have a Synchro monster and be able to negate one of my monsters, and it is in his best interest to negate the Zorora, so I don't have a monster negate, the Fusion Zorora. The Synchro Zorora is keeping him from being able to do anything with links. That doesn't really matter. Again, I haven't super prioritized I don't know if you'd call it a floodgate of the Zorora, where if you have like a Synchro attached to Zorora, your opponent can't activate the effects of Synchros. I haven't been prioritizing that. Like, I played against Cool Tunes lately, and I feel like if I had prioritized it, it maybe could have made a difference. But I'm trying to stick to lines I'm comfortable with. I know that that's not always the best thing to do, because I probably should be trying to think of different ways to do things and different things to prioritize. I believe at this point I'm just big thinking because yeah, I'm just like, can't I negate it? And it's like, it's not a monster effect, girly. I can look through my graveyard all I want. I do decide to chain Verd though, and I can do the when. So again, remember I added the third Verd to hand, and then I set it, and I can chain it to the Rhapsodia in order to special. I think I just I think I get a Spenta. I'm pretty sure I've run through pretty much all my Magista stuff. But just to get another body, might as well get a body out. So again, I think if I had prioritized, because then he probably would have negated the Synchro Aurora, because he wouldn't have been able to activate his Synchro effects, and that's pretty important for Elfnote. Like he's activating the Strelitzia again here to special, go to special the Regina. Regina came to center. He's going to be able to special. Yeah, that might have made the difference if I had tried to prioritize the pseudo floodgate that is the Aurora Synchro. So what does he go? This game was the longest one. I will say game one was, I guess, semi-grindy. Do you see what I'm saying? If I had clogged, I don't know if it would have mattered. If I had left the Fortuna, he couldn't have gotten the Regina in center, and then he couldn't have done the special. Well, but he would have, see, I don't know if it was worth. I think it is one of those things that, like, if you're not going for lethal, I'm not entirely sure how worth it is to attack at all, unless you're playing against Malice. If you're playing against Malice, oh, the Black Rose Dragon, this is going to blow up the field. He needs a way to, like, have access to do damage, because he knows he's not going to be able to. He's trying to go for lethal. Aren't we all trying every time we play? So the Black Rose Dragon is going to send everything, but he does have engrave effects with the Lucina, the Regina, or just the Regina, I believe. So he is going to have some recursion. I give him back his Lucina. And now special summon to middle. Yeah, watching this back, I think I shouldn't have attacked. I think it would have made a difference to just leave it. Oh, also sorry for like blurry cards that I put up here. Sometimes when I'm trying to find the card name, I don't fully make sure that it's actually a good one. Oh my gosh, Medius the Pure was engraved too. So you can shuffle a monster back to your deck, and if you do special summon Medius, but when it leaves the field, it is banished. But then Medius is going to let him do the search, and he's going to search into Vidolium. I believe, does he pendulum set it? Yeah, he's going to go ahead and set the Vidolium. And that's going to allow him to, what does that allow him to do? Oh, it's going to get him into the Ginaldo. And then the Ginaldo is going to destroy the Vidolium. And when it's destroyed, it's going to let him add. And he's going to add Terminus. Now, activating Terminus now does make a very big difference, because he will only be able to attack me with Power Patron monsters. He does not have game as it stands. I don't know if he's going to be able to. Oh, and then the Ginaldo, he banishes 3, and that's going to let him special the big synchro, the big Power Patron synchro. It's at 3,100. Oh, but the Ginaldo did have to go into defense. Oh, we were talking because he goes, oh, I get to special summon from here. And I'm like, you're synchro locked. I think he is synchro locked through something. And he was like, no, I am not summoning the extra deck pendulum. I'm summoning from the extra deck. And then Tinia. Going to go ahead and synchro. He hasn't activated Terminus, so he technically is still fine. And then Tinia, and I believe this is game. So I lost game 1. I think looking back, leaving the Fairytail monster, I shouldn't have attacked. I think it would have made a difference. Let me know your thoughts if I'm thinking of it wrong, but I think it would have made a difference if I had just left his middle monster zone clogged. I go first. I draw Spenta. I get to do my favorite 1-card Spenta combo that I thought of all by myself, because I haven't seen anyone else do it other than me and my brain, where I search Rigatoni. I normal Rigatoni. This die, well, it doesn't actually die to an Ash, because Spenta, you can banish it to equip Artemis, and then at least get into some Magistus fusions. So Rigatoni effect to add, we are going to add Ved. Once we add Ved, we are going to then activate Ved. Ved is going to send Jenny And then we are going to Jenny, copy the second effect of Vad in order to special out a Zerora. Yep, so we're going to go ahead and Witchcrafter Jenny, copy the second effect of Vad because it no longer cares about the one condition when you're copying the effect. And we're going to go ahead and get out a Zerora. Zerora is going to have the effect to target a Magistus monster and equip. So we're going to Zerora targeting the Rigatoni. We don't want to equip to Zerora yet because when he's equipped, he's going to allow us to special from grave. We don't want to do that yet. So we're going to go ahead and equip the Ninaruru. It doesn't really matter what Magistus you equip as long as you're being kind of smart with your resources. This one I figured I wasn't going to be able to use later because she's a rock. Then we can contact fuse into Chorizo. He takes monster cards. It is really important to note that you can use equip spells for Chorizo. Then we're going to banish the Spenta, equip the Artemis. Artemis is going to allow us to search the Crowley. Crowley is going to special summon himself, and then we can immediately fuse. And we did all this in under 5 summons. Girl learned her lesson and did not put it in the link zone just in case. Under 5 summons. And then we can, I mean, at this point though, this because I could have equipped the Ninaruru. I don't know. Anyway, Rigatoni is going to let me banish to equip a non-level 4, so I can't equip the Chorizo, but I can equip the Ninaru. Could have also equipped the Artemis, and then I can summon a level 4 spellcaster in defense. So we go into Crowley, and then we overlay into Wiccat. Detach for cost, and then now the choices begin of why is he aggressively pointing at, oh, the equip spell also leaves. It's a pretty card. I'm pretty sure he's looking at it and going like, this is a nice looking card. And I got really pretty over sleeves and actual extra deck sleeves from Mana Moon. And they're really pretty. And I'm sure that's what he was looking at. So Wiccat, I now have to make the choice of what I want to send. I pretty much always send Match Girl. And then it's like, okay, how many fuses do I want? I decided to send Snow and Match Girl. I have quite a few cards in Grave. So, you know, I can get Snow. I want 2 fuses this turn instead of Ball. Fairytail Ball allows you, so I'm going to search the fusion spell of Match Girl. Fairytail Ball allows you to attack directly. I think prioritizing getting Ball if you're going second and doing 1 fuse. I think if you're going first, prioritizing 2 fuses is better. So I'm going to go ahead and attach it to Wiccat and then effect to fuse. You can fusion summon any spellcaster, by the way, so it doesn't have to be a, as long as you have the materials, it doesn't have to be a Fairytail fusion. You can also use materials from hand, which is what I do because I have a Match Girl. Go into Weaver. Weaver has an ignition effect, so at this point they could get rid of it and I can't use it, which would suck, but he doesn't. I think it's interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and summon Luna. Side note, looking at Jesse Cotton's deck list, and as soon as he was playing, I had the feeling that he was not running a lot of hand traps. And I think the idea of like going board breaker heavy is very interesting. It's something that I think Elfnotes could, maybe Fairytail could. I think if you're going to go board breaker, less hand trap, you have to have a lot of gas. And even that, he didn't do a ton of board breaker. Like Jesse Cotton's deck list for Dragotail branded was like all gas, no break. Interesting concept because like I'm just watching this game back. I'm thinking about how he really doesn't have any interaction. I know he doesn't play Nib, and even if he did play Nib, I played safe under Nib. He would have already drolled out. You know what I mean? And so thinking about when you do all gas, no break to try to make me use all of my interactions, and then you can still keep going. And especially if you have a grind game deck where you can get a lot of your stuff back, I think it might be worth it. Anyway, what I did in this game, though, was I re-equipped Tails to Weaver from Grave, and then after you re-equip from Grave, you can normal summon an 1850. So I had a Luna in hand, and I normal summon the Luna, and on normal summon, she's going to let me search. So I search a Jania of the Ring. This is how you can make one of your opponent's monsters a spellcaster, and then if you rename it without having to go into Weaver. So then I'm going to fuse again into Teller. Teller is an Omni Negate by banishing. I'm going to set 1 mysterious card and pass. So he is playing into Luna, which is I could name a card, and he either needs to send it from deck or extra deck. Moving the wrong thing. Send it from deck or extra deck in order to not have it, like, it'll get returned back to hand. So normally that's what I'm saying. You name like an extra deck card with Luna because the odds that you try to name something you think they're not playing again. I also have the Teller negate, and I have the Weaver negate. Weaver negates when a non-Earth Fairytale summoned I also have Snow Engrave. And I have a set card. Oh, also, Teller says that your Fairytail monsters aren't destroyed by battle, so he's also going to have to deal with that. Oh, and the Zorora. I don't know if I said the Zorora. Okay, he's going to go ahead and activate Fallen and the Virtuous in the draw phase. He is running, I guess, yeah, is this like a small branded Albaz package? I don't know what you call this, like this package he's running in Elfnotes. He's going to go ahead and send Albion the Branded Dragon. I think it's a really strong way to play Elfnotes. I should do a deck profile of what he's done. I think it's pretty good. He's going to try to negate the Teller because that is the Omni Negate, and I negate because, like, or I think he might be trying to blow it up, and so I have to negate it. He's going to activate Terminus. This is important because he will only be able to attack me with Power Patron monsters, which means he's probably, if I had to guess, his plan would be that he is going to clear my board and then hopefully have enough to go for game with just Power Patron. Here's one way to try to clear the board. There's that Fallen of Albaz. He's going to get to fuse with my things. This is another I feel forced interaction. I ask if I can Luna it, and he says, well, considering Fallen in the White is also Fallen of Albaz, I can just send him because it's technically treated the same. So I do Zorora, negate it because I am trying to not have my stuff fused away. Special Lucina. Lucina is going to search. I could Snow it. I also have one mysterious set card. I genuinely don't remember what the set was. Probably a Super Poly. The Super Poly seems glued to my hand these days, which I love. Hopefully I'm not jinxing myself. I love having the Super Poly to be able to, you know, do what I gotta do. Let's make this a little smaller so you can actually see like all the text of the cards. He's gonna go ahead and get a Regina. And then Medius Engrave. I think I have a Ghost Bell in hand. Yeah, I did. I know that there's like, I feel like there's conversation about Ghost Bell not being worth it. I am maining Ghost Bell. I am maining Droll. I like the Ghost Bells. I think they stopped the Medius. Like, I think it has, maybe it could be a side piece instead. Regina, special to center. And then because she was special to center, she is going to get to special summon. Here's where I'm going to Snow. So Snow does banish for cost. So I am banishing my 7 cards, all from Grave. I guess I could have banished the Zorora from field, considering I've already used his effect. I tend to just banish from Grave for Snow. So banishing my 7. I try to not banish a Match Girl because she can summon herself from Grave. If you do banish a Match Girl, though, and you have another Weaver, which I have now since put 2 Weavers in the deck, Weaver can special from deck or banishment, by the way, so I think that's really good. So then we're going to go ahead and do Snow, and Snow will occur on a new chain. So he is going to resolve, so the summoning of Snow resolved. He's now going to resolve the Regina. And he's going to search, what's he getting? Or summon a Tinia. He has no quick effects. I do. So Snow, we're going to go ahead and Wive Weaver. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh. Baby genius. And it was a set Super Poly. Okay, so Weaver says that when a non-earth monster is summoned, it is going to be able to negate. So he would have the Tinia to switch to the middle. Because I believe even if it's face down, it still sees it as it's a face down monster. So I'm almost positive that Tinia or any of the Elfnotes would still be able to switch into the middle and do their little like funniness with a face down monster. So I'm going to Snow, place the Regina face down, and then Weaver I am going to negate and rename the Tinia. This also means I don't think he could do another Regina this turn, but Tinia is no longer Tinia. She is a Prince of Fairies. So place her face down, negate, and he scoops it up. And I say, good thing you scooped it up, bud, because I also have a Super Poly. And especially now that Tinia is renamed Prince Fairies and she's already a spellcaster, could go into another Teller, blow up your whole board, and so he scoops, and we go to the penultimate game 3. Elfnote goes first, so Elfnote went first game 1, I went first game 2, and Elfnote's gonna go first again game 3, and see how that goes. When I first started playing Elfnote, or not Elfnote, when I first started playing Fairytail, I did have the thought that it was not very good at going second. I do think depending on how you layer your hand and how you do your interaction, obviously it does depend on what you draw, as every game does, but I think it does have enough gas that it could. So he's going to go ahead and normal summon Ecclesia, Incredible Ecclesia, in order to get the Fallen. I'm going to chain Fua. Does he have the answer? I think he's hoping he does, but I don't think he does. I do not think he has the answer for this Fua. Oh, I see the Ash. Oh, he's debating. He does. Oh, it's coming back to me. Sorry, I filmed these and then I don't like talk about them for a while. This was we talked about this after. He would agree with me. This Ash was a bad choice. This Ash was a bad choice. He could have just let me have, it would have been a draw. It would have been one draw. And it would have been fine because he is going to go into the Ecclesia Synchro, which would have been one draw. And then I'm pretty sure he has nothing else to do after that. So saving the Ash for my turn in order to stop me from getting into the fusion spell. Yeah, he's going to go into Ecclesia, which does have a quick effect. This is an interruption, and I would have gotten one drop, set 2 pass. We talked about it. The Ash was not worth it. I would have gotten one draw, and it would have been way, way better to save the Ash for the Spenta search, right? Like you could have stopped me right here. Could have stopped me when if I get into a match girl. So he is going to go ahead and has to let this go through because he ashed the Fua and he only had one Ash in hand. Normal Rigatoni to search, again, an ashable thing. He is able to imperm though. Again, this is not the worst thing to get hit if you were playing Fairytail Magistus, because 1, you have more cards in your hand to do other things with, but also 2, you do have the Spenta Banish in order to equip the Artemis, which can get you into Crowley, which can at least get you into some Zorora fusions. So that's fine. No worries. No biggie. That was my normal summon, though. I will say that is where I'm saying committing to the Rigatoni. I do chain Super Poly, though. Okay, the reason I did this late, first of all, also, I learned this is bad mannering. To Super Poly in the Imperm column. I promise I'm not trying to be toxic. I just am. My conversation, or what was going through my brain and what I eventually asked was, if the Rigatoni is no longer on the field, it dodges the Imperm, right? These are things that I'm pretty sure I know, but I've never dodged with a Super Poly. So, I would no longer control the Rigatoni, so the Imperm would not have a target, and so then the effect that I already activated to search would go through. That's what I was making sure was going to happen. So when I changed Super Poly, that's also why it took a minute between the Imperm and the Super Poly, because I was thinking, and I was like, I think I can do this, but I don't know if it matters. And then I was like, does it matter? It does matter. It does matter if I dodge the Imperm. He can't respond. I didn't intend to flex by playing it in the Imperm column. Chorizo. He's my favorite. He's the MVP. If I ever made it to like a YCS stage where they're like favorite card, I would say chorizo, and they'd be like, what? And I was like, do you need me to help you spell it? Chorizo is my favorite card. So then I pretty much just get to continue doing what I was planning on doing, which is Ved send Jenny, and then Jenny is going to let me copy Ved. He does have one unknown set. It is a Fallen. I have no response for that. He is going to send Rindrum, which I didn't know what that did. But if you watched the feature match for YCS Columbus, we all know that Rindrum Engrave is what a treat that one is. I do get to still, I still have Jenny Engrave, and I'm able to do the send in order to summon. Go ahead and summon a Zorora. I can I can target himself to equip, or I can send, actually I don't think I can do the Rigatoni, because all I have is level 4, but I can do Spenta. So Spenta to equip. I should have just done the Zorora to equip to himself. I think I forgot I did that. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty sure I forgot I did that, because it feels weird wasting. I don't know if it is a waste of the Spenta. Anyway, when Zorora becomes equipped, I can special summon in defense a level 4 spellcaster I already said in defense. So I'm going to special summon looking at my choices, could bring back chorizo because I love him. I'm trying to see what I could go into, like what the purpose would be for later. He doesn't have any monsters out, so I don't know what we're talking about here. Let's see. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and bring back the chorizo. I will be able to overlay into Wiccat. Oh, okay, okay, wait. I remember what happened. So, because I'm watching this, I'm like, why didn't I Artemis into Crowley? I discarded the Crowley for the Super Poly. I drew into Crowley, and I thought that was such a smart play. I got hard stuck on the idea of getting him back to hand. Going into Ninaru in order to add back the Crowley was literally just me chasing a pipe dream. And it's something in Yu-Gi-Oh that I feel like I personally feel like I get excited about stuff. I get excited about the idea of getting to do like a cool play, and I don't think through the consequences of, is this actually the best play? Bad play. Bad play. I should not have done this. I just got so stuck on the idea, and I thought there's no way he's going to stop me. So she is ignition in order to discard to add back. And at this point, I done knew I messed up because I'm like, you're not letting me do what I want to do. And it's so cool. I didn't know what Rinbrim did. So I also didn't think he had any more interaction. That's on me for not knowing what the card did. So this says, when a Fusion Synchro, Exi, or Link Monsters effect is activated, quick effect, you can negate the effect, then you can return one monster from the field to the hand. Now, had I gone into Wiccat, I probably would have ended up in a similar position. So I think there would have been a better choice than overlaying. I think there would have been a better choice than trying to activate an effect of this. I could have even just gone battle with the two that I had out. I could have tried to go into something. Zorora is a tuner, so I could have tried to go into something and not activate the effect. I got hard stuck on getting Crowley, and I do not think this was. Let me know what I could have done that you think would have been better. Definitely the immediate activation of Ninaru of all things to get the Crowley back did not work out for me. He is explaining how Rinrem works, and then Fallen is going to get him into that stupid little Albaz card. Well, yeah, because then look at him doing all these things on my turn. This is where I will say the Fallen, Albaz, Ecclesia, whatever package you want to call it, is pretty powerful. And it works well with Elfnotes. It works well with pretty much any spellcaster deck, but especially Elfnotes, where I think most of its synchros are level 8. Anyway, and at this point, I see the writing on the wall. Meow, 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 meow. And I decide to be like, well, dang. No Crowley back to hand. You're good at. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it would have mattered because I think I would have needed to not activate the effect. I would have needed to play around Rinram, which would have meant knowing what Rinram did, which would have meant not activating the effect of like an extra deck monster. Don't know if I would have even done that. Oh my gosh, I'm huge. I don't know if I would have done that anyway. But, you live and you learn. And now I've lived and I've learned what Rinram does. So I lost the match. I didn't remember. But now I'm reminded. And now the rest of my day, I can just think about how I lost. No, it was really fun. I'm having a ton of fun with Fairytail Magistus. I'm still tinkering with it. I'm making changes. I'm really proud of the work my boyfriend did into the Elfnote deck. I'll ask him if he wants to share his list or if I can do a deck profile. Because I think it's pretty saucy. Based off of other deck lists that I've seen, I think, including that package and just how he pilots it. It's really fun. But yeah, hopefully you got to learn about a little bit about Elfnotes, a little bit about Fairytail, a little bit about Magistus, and got to see it in action. Let me see what the baby wants to say bye this time. Come here. You've been saying no so much. I think I have no choice but to force you to say bye. I will lift you up in your squishmallow bed though. One says bye. The mic. Oh. Is your tongue out? Are you looking extra? Oh, he has a bleep. Y'all are blessed. So blessed. May you have a blessed day, as Alphonse has decreed it.